there's some things that 11-year-old can say to me, man, that'll get them that'll at least get them smacked. It's kind of like this. If anything that I punish my son for saying to me, then I'm gonna punish somebody else's child for saying to me as well. I don't care nothing about what the parent can do what they want to do. We can just go to war. But your child is not finna disrespect me, nigga. Your woman ain't finna disrespect me. Let your woman talk to me sideways. She finna come get you, and then me and you finna go to war. I ain't playing that game, man. Ain't no woman, no child can disrespect. As men, we live by all these codes where we gonna respect each other and not cross each other, and we gonna deal with each other like grown men, and then we gonna let women and children disrespect us. Nah, man, if your child or your woman is disrespectful like that, that's on you. And if they disrespectful like that to me, I know they disrespectful like that to you. Either that or you a brute and they lashing out on other people. Either way, man. And that's why I stay out of environments, man. You know what I'm saying? I go places, but I go places where, and this ain't no braggadocious type of thing, but I go places where the upper echelon of people hang at. You know what I'm saying? I go places where people go because they busy as hell in their lives running businesses and they need time to wind down. And they sure ain't going nowhere for no drama. People that just going somewhere because they bored. Let me tell you something. There are two kind of people in the world. There are people that need to go somewhere and relax because they tired as hell. And there's people that need to go somewhere because they bored as hell from not doing nothing. Those people that are bored as hell from not doing nothing, I don't go places where they go. You understand what I'm saying? I don't hang around people that just so bored they got to go somewhere. Because boredom, that's idle mind, homie. So I don't, and like I said, man, I looked at the video, man, just the back and forth, then the push. Then he pushed her, then they pushed her down the street. And then she ran back up, man. And he swung on her, man. Now, I look at it like this. He got way into his emotions, man, to really go that hard. But listen what we're talking about. We're talking about America. We're talking about a white man and a black girl. This is still America. Every time you think about it, now nobody, people aren't really harping on the the racial dynamic of it. You know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, if there had been a white girl, if he had hit her, he wouldn't have hit her that hard. He probably wouldn't even hit her. I'm telling you, it's a different look when somebody disrespects you. If you're a white man in this country and somebody black disrespects you, you feel differently if the same words come from somebody white. And that's just the environment we live in. Yeah, they want you to think that there's no racial tension in this society, man. But, man, that's crazy. To believe that is idiot logic, man. Sketch 1001 was good with you, bro. Lit Life was good, man. Jack Bone is in the building. You know what? Like Sketch 1 said, it's like the bus driver video, we uppercut the chick. Man, let me tell you something. You just can't be out here disrespecting people, man, and think it's okay. If you're a child, stay in a child's place. The problem is nobody's being parented anymore. The parents are the friends of the children and not the parents of the children. So, these people giving birth to their friends, to their homies and homies. I say, man, if you don't want no static, man, then you know what I'm saying, you probably need to put fabric softener in in the dryer with your clothes if you don't want no static. So, the bottom line is, man, we live in a society. Now, let's get into this. This is the perfect segue into our topic for the day. Cortez Smith, what's good, bro? Welcome to another episode of the High Altitude Show. I'm your host with the most, Dr. BoA, a.k.a. Book of Alpha Renemy. And I appreciate everyone for joining me here tonight. The topic for today is the real reasons black men and black women could never be what we were. And when I say never, I do mean never. This trying to rebuild the family and trying to rebuild the connection between black men and black women, man, the damage is done. There is no rebuilding that. There are too many layers. I tell you what, if it can be rebuilt, it can't be rebuilt in our lifetime. There are too many levels of dysfunction to navigate. And see, you can't just do away with all the levels of dysfunction. You have to siphon the levels of dysfunction and pull out all the positive energy from all of those levels. Man, that could take hell as long as we've been in this country. That take 300-400, damn near 500 years, man. You don't undo 400 or 500 years worth of damage in one lifetime. And the thing is, we're not even beginning to try to undo the damage. But let's get into this, man. I want to start this. I want to start this with something here, man. Now, the first thing is this. The number one thing is that we have allowed ourselves to be convinced, although we've been oppressed for the majority of the time we've been in this country, we've allowed ourselves to blame each other for our issues. Even though we understand the systematic oppression, the systemic oppression that we have dealt with in this country, we have gotten to the lowly position of pointing our fingers at each other. Black men point the finger at black women. Black women point the finger at black men. What does that lead us to do? Swear each other off. Sit down with a black woman and ask her what is the issue in her life. She'll trace all her problems to her dealings with black men. From her father to her uncles to whoever touched her when she was a little girl to her baby daddy to her ex-husband to whoever. She'll blame all of her issues on a black man at some point in her life. And I tell you this as well. The black man is the same way. We blame all of our issues on our dealings with black women. We have given them names like the succubus and the nemesis and the scallywag and the razzle and the raggle daggle and all of these things, because we are so blind to the fact that everything she has become was intentional. She was led to that. And we could say, well, she had a choice to make. Let me give you a great example here. Let's look at the basis of our division. We can trace our division, the beginnings of our division. We can trace it back to the welfare system and the food stamps. And that's what we like to do as black men. We like to trace it back to that. But let's look at it from this perspective. Let's think about good times. Florida Evans, James Evans, perfect black family. They always talk about the Cosby Show. I say, in my mind, the perfect black family was the Evans family on Good Times, because it represented the reality of life back then. Now, this show came out, man, late 60s, early 70s. We're talking about a time where that was life for the majority of black folks in America, especially from the Midwest, on to the, down through the South and all of that. That was life. Now let's ask ourselves this. James went out, worked 3, 4, 5, 15 jobs. Florida stayed at home, took care of the children. She was submissive. She did have a brain, and sometime when he was about to go, off the deep end, as far as the frustration that he was dealing with, man, she calmed him down. She had that calming effect on him. Perfect scenario. And if you notice, she wasn't the most attractive woman in the world. I can't believe that there's no way in real life she'd have been the mother of Thelma, but she played that role tremendously because she didn't have a choice. Now let's ask ourselves, what if Florida had been offered welfare, food stamps, and subsidized housing? How loyal would she have been then? See, you saw the way that family struggled. You saw the way James had to grind. Only reason they would make it because they lived in the projects. Only reason they made it because they lived in the projects. They couldn't have made it anywhere else. They pretty much wore the same clothes all the time. And you have to understand, they had 3 children in the house. In the projects. Hell, 3 children right now in the mansion is rough enough. A mini mansion anyway. So I say, how would Florida have fared if they had offered her that? As great as she was in that role, if that was a real life family and she played that role that well, how would she have fared if they had offered her that? Let me tell you how the story. Now, I know somebody may say, especially a woman may say, well, she was going to hold her family down. Let me tell you how it was going to go. Hey there, Mrs. Evans. How you doing now? Now, I see you over here, struggling over here now. You got these children over here, and you love your children. I can tell you do. Yeah, the way they look at you in their eyes, I can tell they love you so much, have so much respect for you as mother. But you ain't living too well over here now. Dangerous out here. I heard your oldest boy just got shot not long ago. The youngest boy was in a gang and all that. And you got that old pretty girl there. She got to walk home through all of that stuff there out there now. But let me tell you here, good old government, good old Uncle Sam here, has got an opportunity for you. Now, I'm talking to you about this because, you're the mother of those children, so you feel a certain kind of way to them now. The father loves them now, but there's nothing like a mother's love for her children now. Now, let me tell you what we can do for you. We can take you out of these old nasty projects. With that, what's his name? What do y'all call him? Old Buffalo Butt. We'll take you out of these old nasty projects here. Put you in a nice home, nice community, be other families there. We'll police the community. Don't have to worry about any of this old type of crime. No gang affiliation, no gangs, drug dealers, or nothing in there. Because we're going to make sure we keep that ragamuffin stuff out of there. We're going to give you some money. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what we're going to do for you. We're going to subsidize your housing. You ain't got to pay but $1 for rent. $1 a month for rent. And guess what? We're going to give you $200 a month. Now, $200 ain't a lot now, but back in 68, $200 I ate to just sit at the crib with no rent. Now, we're going to give you that. And wait a minute. I know what you're thinking. Well, I'm going to spend that on food. No, you ain't. We're going to give you what we got a new program called a food stamp program. It's going to give you a little book of stamps there. And you go in there, and guess what? You ain't even got to pay taxes on it. And now here she is all excited. She happy. She excited. She like, oh, man, yeah, James is going to love this. Wait a minute now. Well, wait a minute. Now, there is one catch to this now. This is for you and children. Now, for some, we haven't worked it out yet to allow the husband to be there, but rest your pretty head now. Rest your head assured. We're going to work that out right now, just up for you and children. Now, she's going to say, well, no, I can't take that now. If James ain't going, none of us going. Wait a minute now. Now, ain't this what James would want? Isn't this what he's out there working 15 jobs for? Isn't this what he's busting suds at the grease spoon, then going to the car wash for? He wants this for you. And I guarantee you he'd sacrifice it for you. I guarantee you that man to sacrifice him. So any man that go out and work at a grease spoon, then go to a car wash, is a man that loves his family and wants to give him the best. So don't you worry. This is what James would want. But I got to have your answer today now. Got to have your answer today. Now, what do you think Florida's going to do? She got to give him his answer right there. He done broke it down to her. Now, he probably got some pictures and shit to show her of the housing community and, probably show an example of what the food stamp looked like and show her the paperwork where it say you ain't got to pay no taxes. Then show her where this subsidized housing costs $1. And he just reminded her that this is what James worked so hard for. Now, you tell me, what do you think Florida's going to do? What do you think Florida's going to do? She going to take the money. She going to take the opportunity to move her children out the projects. Now, you may say, that's what James wants. But let me tell you what it does. It takes the one motivating factor that James Evans has out of his life. And you may say, well, man should motivate himself. Nigga, you can say that now in 2019. You couldn't say that in the late 60s, early 70s. I'm almost good. I think Good Time Mail came out like 65. So it may have been mid 60s. But all this rah-rah talk we talking right now, self-motivation and self-prioritization, man, wasn't no opportunities out there for no black man like that. You weren't about to just decide you want to start a business and go do it. Hell, in 65, nigga, that was still whites only pies. But how much it take to turn some of these whites only pies into nigger pies? So you strip that man of what he's motivated. That man's going out there working that greasy spoon, man, and he's going out there trying to make a way for his family. And you know what happens when he gets home? When he goes out there in the world, they treat him like nothing. They treat him like scum. They treat him like a nigga. When he go home, his wife treat him like a king. His children treat him like a superhero. That's the only place that man can go and get that treatment. Nobody's giving him that shit in the world. Man, nobody give you that in the world now. Unless you're talking about some little scallywag. But you take that from him. That man still got to go out there and do what he got to do. Because in his mind, he's still thinking that there's going to come a time where he can be with his family. That's what the man told Florida. That's what Florida told James. 5 years down the line, it ain't happening. So how James going to relax himself? He ain't got the children treat him like a superhero no more. He ain't got the wife treat him like a king no more. So he turned to drugs and alcohol. So where this huge drug, alcohol, academic come for? This man got to heal his pain out there, man. He dealing with the world without a family. But he don't know nothing else to do because he been doing this for so long that he just stuck in that rut. And you got to understand, during that time, you take a man's family from him, he ain't got nothing left to fight for. They had nothing to fight for once our women flipped. Once their women flipped, there was nothing. They fought for their families, not for ourselves. Even right now, black men ain't got no fight because black men ain't got no families. Man, you don't hear black men trying to spark up nothing. Nothing. Nothing but getting our passport, getting the hell out of here. Chuck Spencer, what's good, brother? Good to see you in the building, Chuck. Young God is in the building. Jonathan Cadero, my homie from the BX, is in the building. So you have to understand, man, that when you take a man's family from him, you take all that he represents in this country. We're not gods in this country. We are not kings in this country. We are descendants of fucking slaves in this country. For the most part, not all of us are descendants of slaves. Believe it or not. Not every black man in this country was a slave, even back then. But we ain't going to talk about that now. There's a totally different show. Now, you think about this. Perfect time for Martin Luther King to introduce nonviolence as the final nail in our masculine defender of family coffin. The final nail in the coffin was the civil rights movement. Whereas our women and children looked at us to defend them. They saw us get beat down by the cops. This was before the civil rights movement. They saw us stand up to cops and probably take a beat down and get killed. They saw us defend our families. They saw us sacrifice ourselves. They saw us stand up to the system and buck the system. They saw it. They saw it. And not just with the Panthers. They saw it all over, man. They saw it. It was taking place. What they saw with the civil rights movement was the rest of the nation seeing black men get their ass kicked and take it, turn the other cheek, lay down, be sprayed with hoses, have dogs sicked on them, get beat with billy clubs, and do nothing in return. Every now and then you see a situation where a black man defending himself. It was rare, but the entire movement was based on non-violence, even though you're being attacked. That shit is not the innate nature of black men. That is when our masculinity began to be suppressed. When we decided that we're going to intentionally, willingly suppress our urge to fight, suppress our urge to defend ourselves. We're going to stand there, do shit like sit-ins, and let white people spit on us and post shit on us and kick us and beat us and do all that, and we ain't gonna do nothing. The greatest travesty in the history of black folks in this America is the civil rights movement. It did more to destroy the black family unit than slavery itself. Because although black men were emasculated during slavery, the big black buck was often forced to perform homosexual acts with the owner of one of his good old boys in front of his people to show that, hell, if they can get Big Bob down, then none of us stand a chance. We better go along to get along. But that's during slavery. We're talking about the civil rights movement, man. You niggas is free. And you still taking it with no Vaseline. That is the number one thing that drove a wedge between black men and black women. That was the final nail in the shit ain't been the same since the civil rights movement, man. Ain't been the same since the civil rights movement, man. That is when women start to think in separate terms. That is when they start to think of themselves as something separate from black men. Because to be perfectly honest with you, and this is the reality of it, if I was them, I wouldn't want to be attached to no niggas either, man, that was sitting around getting beat on purpose, getting dog sicked on them on purpose, following some nigga that's talking about we gonna take whatever they dish us and we ain't gonna try to fight back. Now, I will say this about the Panthers. The Panthers were by far the most impressively effective attempt at manning up and defending ourselves against the system of oppression by acting on our own behalf instead of marching and rallying for some outside force to act on our behalf. But the catch-22 is, it was also the first time the white women's liberation movement got to witness the power of having black women help organize and perpetuate an agenda. Before that, black women had no voice. When they saw the amount of support that they give to a cause that they support, and how they rally around the leaders of that cause, and how they carry the banner of that cause, and how they wave the flag of that cause, and how they put themselves on the front line for that cause, they said, oh, hell no. White men don't respect us. Black men respect black women. We need black women on our side. And there they begin, pulling them in. Ken Wood, what's good, bro? I appreciate the super chat. Ken Wood said, BoA, what it do? I see you don't have no workers tonight. Just clock in, salute. No doubt, bro. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Kazay and Raw Band, what's good, brother? Darkside John. Ken the Nightingale, what's good, bro? Sneaker Huncho is in the building as well. So I say this, man. Judah Israel, what's good, bro? So I say this, man. Once black women start to view themselves as equal to white women, they started to view themselves as above black men. Because see, think about this. When they were a part of the black man's civil rights movement, they were getting their ass kicked, getting dogs sicked on them. All type of things were happening to them. When they joined the white women liberation movement, none of those things were happening to them. You understand what I'm saying? None of those things were happening to them. They ain't had to get beat to represent. So you have to understand the choices that black women made were really one of the few times that they've been logical. Like that, all their choices were logical. You can't, so who in the hell gonna stay around and support a man that's laying down and taking a beating, man? It's kind of like if listen, if me and one of my partners, man, we somewhere, man, and he get into it with some cat, man, and then he just fold up, I'm not finna help him, man. If it's two cats on him, I'm not finna help him if he just fold up. Now if they knock him out and then be stomping him, yeah, that's something else. They catch him slipping. But if he just fold up on the ground and ball up in a fetal position while they putting hands on him, man, I'm just gonna stand there and watch. I'm not finna help nobody who don't fight. If you're not gonna fight for yourself, I damn sure ain't gonna fight for you. And so they made a logical decision. If the shoe had been on the other foot, man, we would have made the same decision. You can't stay. How you gonna stay around and support somebody that has decided that they're not gonna fight for a cause? They're gonna march and rally for a cause. That's the Black Lives Matter movement doing. How that shit working out? They're marching and rallying. What has it accomplished? Nothing. Because nobody's gonna give you anything. If somebody got something that's yours and you know it's yours and you want it, you got to take it. And that's the reality of it, man. You just have to understand, man, that yes, women should follow us. Women should submit to us. But we have to deserve to be submitted to. Nobody should follow you if you're not leading. Nobody should submit to you if you're not taking control. And that's the true reality of it, man. So, another thing about this is this, man. Then they come along, I think this was like in the 80s. I guess that's when the Cosby Show came out, 80s, 90s, whenever it came out. And this is kind of like a jump to something else. I'll come back. But then they turn around and present the Cosbys as this whitewashed image. All they did was put a black family in the position that we view white people in, and that made the Cosby Show the new thing to be. Everybody wanted to go out and get a shitload of student loan debt. Everybody wanted to live the Cosby life. Man, black folks used to fantasize about the Cosby life. And to be perfectly honest with you, man, like, when you really think about it, it's not like the Cosby had an amazing life. You understand what I'm saying? Their life was unrealistic. The kind of money it was insinuated that they made, once we became adults, we realized that OBGYNs don't make that kind of money, man. And wherever they do make that kind of money, the cost of living is so high that it's just like they don't make that kind of money. You see what I'm saying? It taught us to pursue working for someone more than it taught us to follow our goals, follow our dreams. Go do something that somebody else is making money doing instead of following your dream, doing the shit that you love. You know how many people have student loans right now, man, for degrees that they fucking hate? They have degrees that they hate, man. They don't even want to work in the field. Man, I know people with master's degrees, man. I know a cat man with a master's degree in biology, man. He's the branch manager at my bank, dude. This dude has a master's degree in biology and he in the South. With a master's degree in biology, man, you need to be in the DMV. You understand? With a master's degree in biology, you need to be working for the government, man. You need to be working at the Pentagon. For the government somewhere, if you ain't working at the Pentagon, man, you got to be somewhere. But it just goes to show that everything they perpetuate, we follow. And that puts us in this situation. C Doug, I appreciate the super chat, bro. Solid for Lois in the building. King D Show, what's good, bro? So when you look at, listen, if you go back, just go back and research the progress of the Black Panther Party, and you will see that, and you'll see in the thumbnail, man. You'll see in the thumbnail that it went from being women there supporting the Panther movement with men to women's to the Black women's liberation movement. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't this thing where white women just came and said, "Hey, y'all join us." Nah, they made them take on the title. See, they didn't really want them to join. They wanted them, while they already had this head of steam, while they were already out there active doing their thing on the scene, marching, had the nation eyes on them. They gave them a new moniker. Hey, we're liberating ourselves from our men. Why don't you liberate yourselves from your men? You don't even have to join our movement. You can be the Black women's liberation movement. Or they could have said women's liberation movement, and the Black women themselves said, well, no, we'll be the Black women's liberation movement because we also have the, and you know, Black women will tell you this, we're fighting two monsters, the racial monster and the gender monster. They'll tell you that. And there's some truth to that. There's some truth to it. But it was probably Black women who decided they were going to label their thing the Black women's liberation movement. But that's all it took. Women's liberation. You put it on that, it increases the numbers of the white women's liberation movement. White women wasn't gonna get no rights, man, with liberation movement. That junk wasn't gonna move, man, until Black women joined it. When Black women joined it, that put them where they needed to be. They put them where they need to be, man. And what it also did, it separated them from us. It made them decide that their most important struggle was to struggle as women. And that's perpetuated today. Like, Black women don't even identify with being Black anymore. They just identify with being female. They don't identify with being Black when something happens to one of their sons, like the Black Lives Matter movement. If that boy Mike Brown would never got killed out there like that, man, they would never start the Black Lives Matter movement. They don't identify with being Black themselves. They identify with Black men being Black. They identify with being women. That's why they'll go and do the dumb, foolish move of voting for Hillary. Because for centuries, for decades now, they viewed themselves as equal to white women. Trump tight was good, bro. Boogaloo 3321 was good, bro. Sammy Hercules was good. Lance Tilden, what up, LT? Good to see you in the building, homie. Now, when you think about this, now we're looking at our women a certain kind of way, because let me tell you what happens when you pull the women away from it and push them into the white women's liberation movement. The police crack down on the Panthers. They crack down on them. Because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Women were put here with their docile nature to give us one little pause to think about what we're about to do before we do it. With the women gone, it was all out war. We ready to go to war, man. You understand what I'm saying? Our competitive nature against one another will go haywire if there are no women around to calm us down. If we can't come home and calm down with the soft warmness of our woman, man, we're going to be out here going at each other's neck. And that is how organizations get infiltrated. That is how they infiltrate the Panther Party with the money. Because the competitive nature of men is always going to win out when we are constantly overloaded with the energy of our testosterone. That's just what happens. So let's think about this, man. This is another reason, man. This is another reason. The backlash that Black men get from Black women for objectifying them is a slap in the face Because at the same time, black women are objectifying themselves both publicly and privately. So they objectify themselves. But if we accept the objectification and objectify them ourselves, oh man, all hell break loose. So we have to see beyond the objectification and create this queen vision of them. That is why every single black woman you meet will call herself a queen, no matter what her background is, no matter what she does with her life. Listen, who is it? Is it district attorney? The Cook County DA that is chasing down Robert Kelly in Chicago will view herself as a queen, and the scallywag that is walking the strip on Southside Chicago will also call herself a queen. All they have to do is be black and female, and they're a queen. And guess what? You had better not refer to them as anything else. That is what she is. That is what she gonna be. And it's your job to accept that and respect that. And you can't call her nothing else. If you call her something else, you're gonna be in trouble. There's gonna be hell to pay. You're gonna be apologized about everything like Kevin Hart. So you think about these things, man, and you have to understand, man, that all of these things have been put in place in order to get us to this point where black women by and large basically hate black men, and black men by and large basically hate black women. You see, we're on the precipice of an extinction level event for our race. More and more black men are swearing off having children with black women. More and more black women are having children with non-black men. A continuation of this is going to put us in a position where we are dying off. We are already dying off. There is a kill-off. They are trying to eliminate a certain amount of people from the population, and I'd be damned if they ain't trying to make sure all of them black. And we go right along and perpetuate those issues like it's the thing to do. So, these are just some of the things, man, that we have to do. Give me a second, man. So, country, what's good, bro? You know what, country? I think everybody knows. Just by looking at the title. You know what I'm saying? Just by looking at the title, you know I'm talking about America. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's I think we know, and the rest of the world knows. I think we as black folks in America will be surprised about how many black folks in other countries know how bad we have it over here. And let me tell you something. It's not that we have it bad. It's that we make it bad for ourselves. Half of this is on us. Half of this is on us. We create this dynamic between ourselves. Nobody's on social media perpetuating this shit but us. White folks don't go on social media and perpetuate black images. Black folks go on social media and perpetuate black images. Ain't nobody putting no gun to nobody's head telling them to go on social media and do the things they doing. Let me tell you something, man. We not only accept, but promote and even prefer the most negative images of our opposing gender. A woman can post her doctorate degree, or she can post that she just found a cure for cancer. And niggas will not be on there liking that shit. Let a woman who ain't did nothing with her life show up and take a picture in some boy shorts doing a split. and watch how many niggas go in there. Let a woman come on and take a picture in a dirty room. I'm talking about a filthy room. She can even have on dingy panties. And watch how many likes that photo gets. Watch how many likes it gets. Videos of black folks killing each other on Facebook Live go viral. When the last time a video of somebody doing something positive went viral? And it ain't like black folk don't do positive things. Black men prefer to glorify the scallywag, the Amber Roses of the world. And likewise, black women prefer to glorify the pants-sagging, illegal pistol-toting, tattoo teardrop, just snitched on his homie and then killed his other homie for snitching on him. Dudes. This is what they like. We are the only race, we are the only group, we are the only racial demographic who constantly ridicule the most positive representatives of our race while embracing the worst components of our society. So yes, if I am a positive black man, no, I am not looking to date black women, because black women by and large, and we're not just talking about the hood chicks, we're talking about college educated women be going after thugs. We're talking about women from the suburbs who grew up with a 2-parent home be going after thugs, be going after killers, be going after gangsters. And then the dude who grew up in the suburbs with his mom and dad in the house, man, be going straight to the hood rat chick. He can't leave them rats alone. Rich men get more scallywags pregnant than poor men. Scallywags, listen, man, them IG scallywags don't get pregnant from dudes that live in their neighborhood. They get pregnant from successful, popular athletes and entertainers, man. So what I'm saying to you is people who have options still pick the worst of our race. So why would the good of our race even key in to trying to stay within their race? When all the desirable women seem to be choosing a certain type of men. I'll give you a perfect example. Marcus Brownlee, the tech dude. If you're not subscribed to him, subscribe to him, man. If you're into tech in any kind of way, to me, he is king of the hill on it. You know what I'm saying? There are people who have, as much information, maybe even more information, but his presentation and everything, man, is 10-10. You know what I'm saying? One of the most successful YouTubers on the platform. You think women throwing themselves at him? You know what I'm saying? Dude probably filthy. You know what I'm saying? Pockets probably filthy rich. You think women throwing themselves at him? You know what I'm saying? Because he looked Poindexter. But should he gravitate to them? Should he start to make himself more thuggish? Should he start to make himself look more hood? I don't think so. I truly believe that we as black folks secretly want to see the destruction of our own race. And I know if you say no, let me tell you this. If you want to see bad shit happen to black women, you want to see your race die. If you're a black woman and you want to see bad shit happen to black men, you want to see your race die. But hey, YOLO, you only live once. Might as well live your best life before we all die. Jay Stacks is in the building. What up, Stacks? Marcus Brownlee, man. It looks like Marquise. It looks like Marquez. Marquees. Brownlee. Check him out, man. The boy got some good tech shit. So I say, man, that we have to understand, man, that the main problem is that black men and black women don't respect each other's struggle anymore. because our struggle is so separate now. We used to struggle together. James Evans, Florida Evans struggled together. Now you and your baby mama struggle separately. Man, let me tell you something. And this is real talk. There's over 1 million black men in prison in the United States. There are more black baby daddies than there are men in prison. There are more black women are the most college educated group in America. There are more black women with degrees than any other group. But there are more black baby mamas than there are black women with degrees. Now tell me this. Why is that everyone else figures out a way to create a family environment for their children? Because everyone else wants a family environment for their children. Other races plan children. Especially white folks. White folks plan children. They have a set time. They have a date marked on the calendar when they're going to start trying to produce children, man. And the crazy thing is this. If we hate black women so much, why in the hell they keep getting pregnant by us so much? You see, the problem is, man, black men and women don't hate each other. Black men and women feel abandoned by each other. And that too is a perpetuation of an idea that this system perpetuated. They wanted black men to feel abandoned. They wanted black men to feel like black women abandoned them to jump on welfare and subsidized housing. Hell, they should have. Ain't that what you want for your children? You mean tell me she should stay with your ass and struggle out there not knowing if you're going to be able to keep a job or not? And black women feel like black men abandoned them. Because we stopped fighting, man. We stopped fighting. Black men stopped fighting a long time ago, man. Like, we don't stand for anything. That's why we all over the place. That's why we're even here on this platform. That's why we're so divided. There are so many men with the same ideology, especially when it comes to relationship, but we're all divided. The MGTOW men are over there. The Iltmore men are over here. The few alphas are over here. There's another group of men over there. Then you got the relationship coaches and dating coaches over there. There are so many of us who have the very same outlook, but we're divided. And I'm going to tell you why we're divided. How can people who have the same outlook be divided? Because the outlook itself is wrong. The Most High does not bless. He's not going to bless the outlook. He's not going to bless us as a group for having that outlook. You see, it is time for us as black men to understand that whatever takes place is going to ultimately be traced back to us. It's going to ultimately be traced back to us. Because see, this is the thing. Look how far we've come. Look how far we've come. From James Evans to now. Look how far we've come. As black men. Not as a race, not as a family, not as black men. How many of us are doing much better than the projects, subsidized housing, food stamps, welfare? How many of us grew up in a house that was better than that? How many of us had grandparents who lived better than that? And if they lived long enough, how many of you have great-grandparents who lived better than that? You know, and I posted a pic on our Instagram today, man, that said why men can't afford to be emotionally attached to women. Man, some old beta male simp, man, John dude came, man. I went to the profile, man, dude married with children and all that, man. And I ain't knocking that, man, if that's your thing. But, you know, you don't get to come and tell me about what alpha is. Man, dude came in there left a long soliloquy, man, about how, you know, this lifestyle that I'm teaching, it may be alpha, but it's not being a man. Men are attached to their pack emotionally and all that. Just all that beta male simp, man, John talk that a married man got to say because his wife got access to his damn profile. Just that type of stuff. And I thought about that, man. I said, man, the total reason that black men are in the situation they in, man, because of emotional availability. Like we did things out of love, man. We got to do things out of necessity. We got to do things out of logic. And it's not logical to give up on your own life, man, because, the woman take the children and go and live a better life, man. It's not logical to give up on your life. It's not logical to make your family the entirety of what you stand for. That is not logical. Hell, you should be the entirety of what they stand for. So you have to understand, man, that, Cortez Smith said white supremacy doesn't make black women choose killers over good men. Not directly, but you have to understand this. It's been so long, man, that like good men don't stand up and fight for nothing. So let's define good man. Let's define good man. Like, what is a good man? Like, what makes me a good man? Because technically speaking, a good man is a term that is pretty much that shit was concocted and defined by women. So as men, we shouldn't even use the term good man. Good, because being a good man as a single man is not the same as being a good man in a relationship with a woman. A good husband is not the same as a good single man. Both of them can be good men, but when you with a woman in a relationship, you're a different kind of good man. So, when we talk about good man, what are we talking about? We talking about a man who's willing to conform to what's necessary to be in a relationship, because that's what makes you a good man in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like me, being the alpha done daughter, I'm not a good man. I'm not when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to what a woman expects in a relationship, I'm not a good man. But when it comes to me being a man in this society, in this world, doing the things that the Most High put me to do, man, I'm a hell of a man. Like Moses was a great man. Moses spent a whole lot of time away from his damn family, though. And he had a wife and children. He spent a whole lot of time away from them. Dick Gregory was a good man. Spent a whole lot of time away from his wife and kids. His kids say they grew up like that, man. Say they ain't understand it at first. They say, but now that they're adults, they understand, man, that he was doing. He was doing what he could do to make the world a better place for them, not just their little life. He made money to do that. But while he was making money to do that, he was out there making the world a better place for them. So, when we talk about that, but but you know what, Cortez? You're right. A good man is a logical man. But it's that logical man, the type of man that's going to be with that woman. It's that logical. You know what I'm saying? Is it logical to be in that situation with that woman? In this society, is it logical to be in that situation with that woman? So, I guess it's all on definition, man. And the thing is, like Jay Stack said, man, like all women are followers by nature. Like they were put here to follow. They were not put here to lead. So, I just think the logical man is trying to avoid that shit. I think that's logic. You know what I'm saying? That's logical, man, to avoid those scenarios. But then that's just me, man. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm scarred, man. I'm scarred. So don't listen to me, man. Nobody, you don't have to think like me, bro. I'm scarred. So let me see what this dude is talking about. So, listen, man, everything that we deal with is social programming. It's social programming, bro. Because think about this. Let's go to a hood situation. Like, why do chicks flock to drug dealers? Like, anybody in the chat, I'm gonna give like three people answer this question, and then I'm gonna tell you the true answer if nobody gets it. Why do women flock to drug dealers? Like historically, why have women flocked to drug dealers? All right, King KG3, power, Chuck power, Cortez popularity, Mr. Beach they caught it in a moment. KG3 said and respect. Kazai and Raw Band, Hypergamy, Survival Instincts, King Shooter, they are promoted in hip hop and they have all the resources. All right. Cortez, social conditioning, power. Power is a big answer. Power is a big answer. They want the glory of being with one. Money and power, J Stacks. All right, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Now let me tell you something. All of those things are true, kinda, but the real reason that they flock to drug dealers is because they followed men to think that drug dealers are great. You see, when you're in the hood and one of your favorite movies is Scarface, and then one of your other favorite movies is New Jack City, and then you like Menace to Society, and then you like Boys in the Hood, and then you like Godfather, what you're telling girls and women is that not only should they glorify those images, but you glorify those images as well. So as a leader, as a man who is a leader, whether you accept the leadership responsibility or not, as a man, you are a leader of those who are around you. And if she sees that these things mean so much to you, she's going to gravitate to them as well. Because no matter what the environment is, women in the hood are led into their behavior by men in the hood. Women in the suburbs are led into their behavior by men in the suburbs. Women on the moon are led into their behavior by men on the moon. You have to understand, man, that men control the dynamic of every environment. That's just the bottom line. Women do not control the hood. And when I say control the dynamic, I mean control the interaction. I don't mean control the actual environment because, black folk don't control nothing. But the interaction in the environment. Like, I'm telling you, man, if you have a woman sit down and watch Scarface with you, man, it's going to change her life. It's going to change her life. When she come to your crib, you got Scarface posters on the wall. Now, and think about how crazy this is. All of that shit I just named are movies. You see, we've been being indoctrinated by foolishness for years. Everybody who has a Scarface poster on their wall has been indoctrinated. Scarface was simply an Italian representative of Freeway Ricky. New Jack City? Come on, man. That's Ice-T and Wesley Snipes. Ain't no real Nino Brown, man. Ain't no man, listen. Ain't no real Scarface, homie. Scarface was Tony Montana. He was the same dude who played Devil's Advocate, man. That's Al Pacino. But we don't think about that. We as men have been trapped in a fantasy world for so long, man, that we don't even know we're in a fantasy world. China White is in the building. What's good, Charlotte? Archie Long Daddy. Yeah, he was Cuban. He was Cuban. That's right. I'm thinking about Godfather the Italian, man. So when you think about it, man, you have to understand that when we as men don't know who the hell we are, and we start to gravitate to images that aren't real, then we are the ones who perpetuate that thug energy, man. This is even men who aren't thugs try to look like thugs. So there is a line that is crossed by men who are not from that environment when they say, okay, that environment is being from that environment is better than being from my environment, so I'm going to act like I'm them. And then you turn around and get mad when all the women like that image. Come on, man. It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. I think the problem is black men are too quick, man, to try to blame black women like black women have been in positions of leadership ever. ever in the history of the world. Oh, country, there's a whole hell of a lot wrong with selling drugs, bro. Cause you don't go cause the problem. Let's get into that right quick. See, that's another thing that causes us to be in the position we're in. There's a whole hell of a lot wrong with selling drugs, man. Whole hell of a lot. You're perpetuating the weapons that this system gave you to continue to destroy your own community, man. And very few men have an exit plan. Very few men exit out of it. Most men are killed out or locked up out of it. Very few men, very few men, very few men. Bro, there are more Mexicans in prison, man, in California than there are anybody. The SAs run the yard in California. California prisons full of Mexicans. Texas prisons full of Mexicans. Come on, bro. Like, how many Mexicans you know that sold drugs and then got out the game and became successful, legit businessmen? That's what we talk about, exit plan. There ain't no exit plan, man. I know a few cats, man, that had an exit plan out of it, man. But for the most part, if you show me 1,000, you show me 1,000 D-boys, man, I'm gonna show you 900 of them, at least 900 that get dead, that's dead or jammed up, or then got shot and got incapacitated some kind of way. It don't even roll, boy. It don't even roll. Like, and the thing is, even if you got a plan, it's such a dirty, grimy game that it's almost guaranteed you're not gonna make it to see the fruition of your plan. So, it's great. Like, listen, man, there are some environments where you ain't got no options. You see, people always say in the hood, and I can tell you this from experience, from growing up in that environment. People always tell you that you ain't got to sell drugs if you in the hood. Nigga, you ever went to bed hungry as an 11-year-old for 3 days in a row and didn't even know where your next meal was coming from? No, you ain't never did that. So don't tell me that at 12, 13 years old, man, we ain't got to find a way to make a way. Have you ever seen your mama so tired, man, from coming in the house, man, working doubles? I'm talking about at work straight for 24 hours, man, that she can't do them, come in the house, man, and pass out on the sofa, man. I'm talking about don't even take a coat off, just fall out. So we talking, it's a different ball game in that environment, man. So yes, there is an environment where that is your best option. And my thing is, it's a damn shame that we as black men in this country allow that to still take place. It's not like we don't have enough resources. The majority of men in those environments would take another opportunity to make good money. But you can't tell me if I'm making $1,000 a night. And yes, you can say, no, that ain't no money. Homie, that 30 racks a month. Some niggas don't make 30 racks in a year. So don't tell me making $360,000 a year ain't good money. Last time you made $306,000 in a year. So you have to understand, man, that we are responsible as men for our interaction with each other. We're responsible for the quality of life of our people. We're responsible for the idiotic situation that our women are in. Like man, as men, we just can't place the blame, man. That's all I'm saying. Now, another thing, let's look at this. Now let's get into some of our own shit. Now, the crazy thing about these women who objectify themselves both publicly and privately while shunning us for objectifying them the same way, listen, they'll objectify themselves. They'll be basically nude in a pic and then call a man thirsty if he comments on it. It's a thirst trap. If somebody set a trap and you get caught in it, they're going to call you thirsty. Like if you hungry and somebody set out some food to get you in a trap, they're going to call you your hungry ass. If it's a thirst trap, of course it's going to invoke some thirst. But I advise men to stay out of the thirst traps. And then these same women then turn around and present themselves as worthy of commitment. Man, let me tell you something. And I heard somebody say this, I think I was in Afi King joint tonight, man. Man, let me tell you something. What man meets Amber Rose, knowing her, like she's popular enough, you know her, you know what she's about, you know what she does. What man meets her and says, I'm finna marry her and impregnate her, man? What man does that? Think about that. What man meets her and says, whoa, I think I found the one. I'm finna marry her and put a baby in her. But it's because you can't look at her in this society and say there's anything wrong with her past behavior. She doesn't even have to change her past behavior. She can still be the same while she's married. And that's the reality of it, man. Yeah, but 21 Savage didn't marry her. I'm talking about that boy Wiz Khalifa, man. Wiz Khalifa married her and dropped the seed in her. And you ask yourself, why? Yeah, I agree with you. I think the 21 Savage thing was called. I think that was just, I think 21 really used it for publicity himself. I think it benefited them both. Yeah, no doubt, Chuck. Crash test dummy for sure. For sure, man. For sure. As a matter of fact, man. Matter of fact, we're going to get that boy on out of here. Now, let's look at this as well, man. Now, there was a time when the majority of black men wouldn't have compared the beauty of any other nationality of woman to the black woman's beauty. Suddenly, there came a time when black men started to seemingly perpetuate the societal concept of beauty, which is the opposite of what the black woman represents. Now, this is a funny timeline because these things started to take place at about the same time. At about the same time. Let me tell you what happened, man. And here's another explanation. This is what happened, man. Once black women joined forces, not really joined forces, but took on the mantra of the white women's liberation movement, they started to gain access to corporate America as well. The first thing corporate America says is you can't wear your hair like that in here. It's too Afrocentric. You can't wear that African hairstyle in here. Now, here this woman has a choice. Now, by this point, she's only got herself. The dynamic between black men and women has been destroyed. Like, she has no man. She is out there trying to live her best life and make it on her own. So she has a choice to make. Same thing with Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey started off like that with the big afro, looking natural. Quickly, to make it to the next level, Oprah Winfrey had to put a perm in that thing, man. Or either braid it up and put a stocking cap on and put a wig on. Same thing that happened with the majority of black women. So when you don't have those images of natural beauty anymore, you start to gravitate toward the more natural women. See, if you put every woman in her natural state, no woman is more beautiful than the black woman. No woman is more beautiful than the black woman when you put all nationalities of women in their natural state. Some come close. Some are nice. Some are nice. Now, hey man, there's some nice looking women in all races, but some races of women are generally genuinely just nice. That they're nice to look at, man. They're nice to touch. Oh, they're nice to enjoy. But when you put all women in their natural state and pick the baddest out of all nationalities, man, that bad black chick gonna murk everybody. It ain't gonna even be close. Because her skin is gonna be perfect and it's melanated. Her body's gonna be perfect. Her waist is gonna be snatching. She gonna be donked up. But she gonna be just, I'm talking about just at the end of the precipice of slim thick. And man, there ain't nobody nowhere can mess with that. But once she started to relax her hair didn't look natural anymore. So when, and this is the reality of it, man. This is the reality of it. And I say this all the time. When you compare the black woman's straight hair to the white woman's straight hair, or the Asian woman's straight hair, the white woman's straight hair and the Asian woman's straight hair look better because it's natural. The black woman's relaxed hair don't look like the white woman's natural straight hair or the Asian woman's natural straight hair. It doesn't look natural on her. It looks like some hair that's been straightened. So when you start to have to compare the black woman in an unnatural state to other women in their natural state, of course the level of attraction is going to increase to other women because women were meant to be in their natural state. And that put a lot of men. GC is in the building. Real life. What up, homie? Vibe Rationale is in the building. What's good, bro? So, it's one of those things. No doubt, man. As it grows, it turns into curls, man. Our hair is naturally curly. Jose Navarro, what's good, bro? So you have to understand, man, that we have, like, all of these things are natural occurrences where you have to let's put it in this perspective. Let's think about it from this perspective, brothers, and this is going to sum it all up. Without our guidance, black women don't make good decisions. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when they go to the black woman outside of the black man's his recognition, he don't even know they're approaching her. That's why she'll accept the welfare and the food stamps and all of that right there. If he had been in her ear, he would have either told her that it was a great thing to do or told her it was not a good thing to do and told her why, and then she wouldn't have done it. The same thing with going into this environment where every single change that's been made to the black woman over the years has been made because she was away from the guidance of the black man. She needs that guidance. She needs that guidance. And that's the bottom line. She cannot take on this system without the guidance of the black man. Because one thing that the white man is, he is more logical than women. And so when his logic comes in and plays on her emotions, it's the same thing as when our logic plays in on her emotions. Her emotions can't win as long as we stay in a logical headspace. And so everything he presents to her is logical and it plays on her emotions. So yes, she's going to falter. The best thing that he ever did was separate her from us. His mission was not to separate us from her. His mission was to separate her from us. So he can continue to prey on her. And now we're in an environment where she believes all of these ideas and fantasies that this system is put into her head. She believes that everything they've said. I saw the homie Information Man up in here. I don't know if I shouted him out or not. If you're in here, Info Man, shout out to you, brother. I see you in the joint. So you have to understand, man, that every single decision that she has made that we fault her for, she made the decision because we weren't there to guide her. You can't. We can't sit here and say that she has no logic and then blame her for making illogical decisions when she didn't have our guidance. Like over the years, she didn't have our guidance. She's gonna make illogical decisions. That's just the way it is. The system knew that, and that is why they separated her from us. Montez Dumas, what's good, bro? You know what, King Shooter? I think it's less that they don't like their natural hair than it is that you got to understand this, man. Like, black women were not meant to be out here scraping and trying to have these careers and putting all this time into all this other stuff, man. They were meant to be helpmeets. That way, they have time to take care of their hair. But you're asking a woman who has to work these jobs and probably going to school at the same time to take the time it takes to care for natural hair. It does take a lot longer to care for natural hair than it does to care for relaxed hair. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. She can relax it, wrap it, pull it down, brush it, and go off. It ain't like that with natural hair. Once you sleep on it, you got to get up and you got to tussle. You got to tussle with it and tussle it a little bit. Everyone knows this. Like, natural hair it takes some time. You got to put some effort into it, especially when it gets long. And now all of them want to lock it up. So, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. They can't afford, time wise, energy wise. They poured themselves into so many other things, which I think is also by design, that they can't present themselves in a way that the Most High intended for them to be. And let me tell you something crazy. The fact of the matter is that even when we do see natural women, the majority of black men prefer women with perms, women with weave, women with hair. And part of that's just them being lazy as well. Because now they don't even want to get their hair relaxed. They just want to just put a stocking cap on and put a wig on it now, man. It's gotten so bad out here, man, to where, they want the quick fix to look like what they think, what they know white men like and what they think black men like. And for the most part, black men are proving that we do prefer women with straightened hair. I mean, that's how we act anyway. Archie Long, Dad, I appreciate the super chat, bro. And all of this, and like the homie said, and like I said earlier, man, all of this is social programming, man. It is social programming. Like, anytime, it's the same thing with black men. We don't care about being spiritually enlightened anymore. We care more about money. We care more about what kind of money we can have. We care more about our relationship with this society than we care about our relationship with the Most High. And to have a relationship with this society, to improve your relationship with this society, you must increase your revenue tremendously. And so we'll focus more on our finances than we focus on our spirituality. The majority of us, the overwhelming majority of us. And that's the thing, bro. They'll always say that, well, white women wear hair extensions too. Yeah, to extend their natural looking hair. You can listen. It's so rare that a white woman tries to wear a black woman hair. When that Jenner girl had the dreadlocks, man, shit, man, she damn near broke the internet, man. Anthony Howard was good, bro. Yeah, so conditioning as well, J Stacks, no doubt. So now, this is when the real turn took place. When oppression became so tactically efficient via media and now social media, the perpetuation through those media formats, that black men started to blame black women for their issues and vice versa. And that's where we are now. We blame black women for the situation with child support. We blame black women for the situation with marriage and divorce. We blame black women for them trying to look like other people. You got to understand this, man. And this is the reality of it. This society has beaten black women down so much. They didn't even know they were getting beat down. They thought they were supporting society and society was supporting them. That they lack self-esteem, man. And see, self-esteem is not based on what you present. Self-esteem is real self-confidence in yourself as a black woman. So if you do not wear your hair naturally, you are not very accepting of yourself naturally. That is your self. A wig is not your self. A weave is not your self. Relaxed hair is not your self. See, we know what esteem means, but self has taken on all kinds of different, it's just all kinds of different meanings. You don't even have to be yourself to label something self-esteem. No, self is esteem of yourself, man. Your true self, the essence of who you are. And you have to also understand this as well. Black women have also blamed us for the things. They're single mothers. They blame us. The system is set up to divide us with things that should unite us. Having a child should unite two people. They have to unite. There should be an energy of fatherhood and motherhood that bonds two people over a child. But the system is set up to not do that. Because if you're not married, then the woman is a custodial parent. Even in marriage, she's a custodial parent. You just live in the house, she's still a custodial parent. If something goes down to the house and the cops are called and you have to leave, I bet the children staying there with her. Or if she had to leave, I bet the children going with her. You know what I'm saying? If they come and say you need to leave and she volunteers to leave, she say no, I'll leave. I bet the children go with her. See what I'm saying? You have to understand that we're in a system that has been long ago set up. Before we were even born, before we were thought of, before our parents were born, grandparents. This system has been set up, man, to put us in this very position we're in. So the question is, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Are we gonna continue? You know, and I said earlier, man, like I got a joint coming out. I'm gonna put it out. I'm put it up tomorrow, man. You know, you have to understand, man, that as a man, you have the right to do whatever the hell you think is best for you. So if you and I say this on the video tomorrow, man. I really don't want to, spoiler alert. But when you're a child and your father leaves, you think he's scum. You think he's a dirtbag. You ask, how could he leave you? Why did he leave you? And you're like, man, I would never do that to my son. And then when your ass become an adult, and you have a child, you realize that if your dad deal with any of the shit that you dealing with your own baby mama, then you can kind of understand why he left. But you ain't gonna do it. You're gonna stay there and you're gonna take it and you're gonna deal with it and you're gonna accept it because you're in a society that tells you that no matter what, you as a man should take whatever the hell a woman dish out to you and deal with it. You should be tough. Like they tell a little boy, you break your arm, boy, get up. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Little girl, fucking get up. I mean, scratch her arm on a tree stick, on a twig. Don't even pierce the skin, just scratch it, just a white scratch on the skin. Ah man, she boo-hooing, man. They pick up and pet her, man, tell everything gonna be alright. Iceberg Wilson, what up, Bird? J. Malone Fowler, what's good, bro? And then you realize, man, that damn, man, I gotta go through all this, man, for just, this is my child. I gotta go through all this. The type of things where, man, I heard dudes be told, this ain't even your baby. Come to find out child was his, but the fact that a woman to tell him that. You know what I'm saying? Man, you have to understand, man. And so we grow up into this environment, man, and we have been indoctrinated from the time we were little boys, from the time we started being able to understand what was being said to us and comprehend. We have been indoctrinated. So before you do anything else in becoming a better version of yourself, man, you have to totally reconstruct your mindset. You have to deconstruct your mindset and then reconstruct your mindset. And that's the problem in this society. We have not deconstructed our mindset. We have got caught up in the same game that our women have got caught up in. They blame us, we blame them. But that's feminine, so why are we doing it? They call us out, we call them out, but that's feminine, so why are we doing it? We spend too much time and energy focusing on trying to pay back females for what we think they did. The only females that ever did anything to you, man, is the ones that was in your personal life. Ain't no way we should be looking at, well, women did this back in the 70s, and women, like, that's why I broke this down right here. Because at the end of this, I'm just going to tell you, man, none of this shit matters. It don't matter what women did in the 70s. It don't matter that they took the welfare and the subsidized housing and the food stamp, man. That don't even matter. This 2019, Jack, what we care about that for? If we still think about that and still worrying about that, man, then we stuck in a time warp. You see what I'm saying? Like the homie said earlier, what they do is what the homie said, man? I can't even think of the terms now. Program, yeah. So what they deal with is social programming. What we deal with is social conditioning. Like we've been conditioned to view shit the way we view it. They've been programmed. Like they are the way they are. And that is why the topic of this show is the real reasons black men and black women could never be what we were. Is because black women have been programmed to be our enemies. They have been programmed to view us as the problem in their lives. We have been conditioned to say that we view them that way, but we really don't. We have bigger fish to fry than that. We don't really view them as the problem. We don't view them as our issue. We don't view them as the reason for everything that ails us in this society. Because the system we have been dealing with the system head on for so many years. Is it a black woman fault when the cop roll up on you, man, pull you out the car, man, you got to fight for your life? Nah. Is it a black woman fault when you had to pay child support? No. Is it a black woman fault when you married a one woman and end up divorced, man, to get your resources taken? No. It's the system. If you understand the system, you can't blame anyone when you become victimized by the system. It's like let's go back to Jim Crow era. If you see that water fountain says whites only, and you take your black ass over there and take a drink out of it, you can't say you've been victimized because you already know the consequences. So any man who finds himself in divorce court now in this society cannot blame anyone. You cannot blame the woman. She did not force you to be in that situation. You decided to put yourself in a situation that you know has a 50% or higher chance of ending in the one place you do not want to be as a man, and that is divorce courts. Just ask Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos will tell you. And that's the reality of it. Yo, man, got the new designs right there, man. Let me put this link in there, man, for y'all, man, so y'all can Head over, man, and check out the new designs, man. Got them in t-shirt, sweatshirt, tank top, whole bunch of things, man. So, China Wade, I appreciate the super chat. China White says, good live stream, Alpha. Appreciate it, shout it. Appreciate it. So, you have to understand this, man, that we as black men have to stop towing the damn line. Half of the things that black women believe about us are not true. The other half are lies. We can't do anything about their program. We damn sure can't combat their program by acting like we're programmed. We're not programmed. We're far from programmed. The only place that a man is programmed in this society, man, is in a relationship. Even the beta male simp mangina is only programmed when he's in a relationship. We've been conditioned to toe the line. And, just fall to the wayside, man, and allow ourselves to be stepped on. Iceberg Woods says she part fault. See, this is the thing, Bird. When you say she's part fault, you are saying that she has the capacity to make logical decisions. She does not have the capacity to make logical decisions. And logic is the only thing you can use to combat systemic oppression, systematic oppression, social programming. We can't be programmed because we're logical. So my thing is, I can't give them enough credit. I can't give black women enough credit to say that they made these decisions, like being of sound mind and body. I just can't. I can't fathom a time when logic was the source of her decision making. And we see now dealing with them now in personal relationships. We see how bad emotion can throw you to the wayside. Oh yeah. Well, you know what? But even on child support, bro. Even on child support. Because the bottom line is this right here. And I truly believe this. I know men that are on child support, and the only people I know who get broken by child support is men who ain't really out here grinding, really got no focus trying to grind on something. You know what I'm saying? And another thing is, the child support can be traced back to a decision that we made as men. We made the decision to impregnate that woman who has our ass paying child support. We made the decision to impregnate that woman. She didn't put no gun to our head and say, hey, put your seed in me. We did that. Because the thing is, we already know how that ends. So once we know how something ends and we put ourselves in that situation, all of the blame must be accepted by us, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I believe all of the blame must be accepted by a man if he knowingly and willingly puts himself in a position that he has already seen end terribly for the majority of the men who are in that situation. It's like right now in 2019. In 2019, to start right now saying you're going to be a D-boy is nuts. It doesn't make sense. That game has been dead for, 15, 20 years. When you start getting 23 to 28 O's in a bird, that's when the game was dead. So when you think about it, man, everything that a man deals with in his life can be traced to a decision he made. The only thing you could blame someone else for is something that can't be traced to a decision you made. And you probably got to go back to your childhood to think of a time where you dealt with something that was totally negative, but was totally out of your control. Someone else made decisions in your life that you couldn't even affect. But as an adult male, man, everything you do, man, you got to take that on the chin, man. good or bad. The same way we want to take credit for the good shit that happened in our life, we want to take all the credit for our hard work and our dedication and focus and all the time that we missed out on hanging out with the homies and going out on dates with a chick and having a chick come through and cook for us and all that because we want to stay on our grind. That's the same way we have to accept the negative things that come our way based on our decisions. Now, another thing is this, man. The bottom line is this. Black men and black women have by and large, sworn each other off as potential mates. Now, when I say by and large, of course, by and large does not mean all, but the majority of black men and black women have sworn each other off as potential mates. Yes, they'll have random sexual encounters with one another, but I'm talking about as mates. They have sworn each other off, man. Like the majority of black men don't want to date black women. Don't want to. Wouldn't. If he was gonna settle down, he wouldn't settle down with a black woman. And black women are the same. The majority of them, man, they're not gonna settle down with a black man. Like you see it in comments, you see it in chats, you see it online all over the place, man. Nobody says anything about black women worse than black men. And nobody says anything about black men worse than black women. I mean, the worst thing you could ever hear said about somebody is always going to be from black man to black woman and black woman to black man. And that says a lot. Because there's a race of people in this country, man, who swore up and down they hated our guts to the point, man, where Man, let me tell you something. That was 4,000 lynchings. There are 4,000 recorded lynchings during the Jim Crow era. 4,000. Hell, that was one small county in Arkansas that had 256. 252 or 256. Between 252 and 256 by itself. That means that if you was a nigga and you went through that, you were going to die. And even those people, the descendants of those people, do not say the terrible things about black men online that black women say. Do not say the terrible things online about black women that black men say. It is us who hates each other so much. And another thing, we have sworn each other as lifelong enemies. Lifelong enemies. She is our nemesis, and we are her destroyer. The most negative energy we ever feel is when we think about her. The most negative energy she ever feels is when she thinks about us. I was in O'Shea's show, man. I think it was the Sunday Rumble a couple of weeks back, and Cynthia G was in there, and I think who was it? Was it Nagone? No, it wasn't Nagone. I can't remember who it was. But man, from the time she came in, they were at it. Nothing was even said bad. They just were at it, man. I mean, O'Shea had to end the show, man. He just ended the show right there. Like people just started falling out, man. Like I'm out, man. I'm good. And it was just like the vitriol. I was like, man, they were in there like they were exes going through a bitter divorce, man. And she was trying to hit him up for all his money. And he was trying to hide money. That's how they sounded in there, man. It went from 0 to 100, man, within 2 seconds. And I thought about that, man. I said, man, that level of, these people probably ain't even met each other in person before. But the fact that that type of vitriol can develop between a black man and black woman means that, man, we view each other as enemies. And when the only person on the planet who's been through the shit that you've been through becomes your enemy, it's over, man. It's over, man. She Black is in the building. Like nobody has been through the things that black men have been through, man, except black women. Not every single thing, but you know what I mean. Nobody's had the experience of the struggle except black men and black women, and we can't even get the hell along. It just goes to show that black men and black women don't respect each other's struggle. Like we literally have the idea that black women don't struggle. And she has the idea that we don't struggle. And it's simply because we don't communicate about the thing that we have in common, and that is the struggle. When I hear these panels sometime, man, when I have time to listen to a panel, man, I listen to a panel, they don't talk anything about the struggle. Like, black folks have convinced themselves so much that there's no struggle, man, that we don't even talk about the struggle no more. We don't even talk about it. Yeah, that's the thing, Vibe. We can't even communicate correctly, man. Oh yeah, Kobe Bryant. I'm certain that the black race is going to decrease. The black race is already decreasing. I truly believe that with black men and black women deciding that they don't even want to procreate together, man, it is pretty much like we are all saying, man, to hell with this race. And that is exactly what this system set out to. And you know, this system takes its time, man. It'll take 50, 100 years because it's just perpetuation. They just pass all the energy down. They pass all the resources down. They pass all the plans down. They pass all the active plans down, and it just keeps on going. And so I'm a firm believer that if things don't change, and I think the main way that things are gonna change is if we, as black men, start to understand that it is truly us against the world. And until we make some strides and pull our things together, I'm telling you, man, black women are going to flock back to us. But honestly, man, we ain't doing nothing. What are we doing? Man, we've been in this country all this time and have no more control over anything than we had when we first got here. We don't even think about having control over things. Listen, let's look at it like this. We talk about Oprah and Jay-Z and Diddy and all of that right there, and how much money they got and all this, and how, you know, we finally got some black billionaires and all that. Man, listen. Steve Bezos, if this divorce goes to where it's looking like, his wife is going to be richer than all the black billionaires in this country combined. His wife, not him, his wife is going to be richer than all of them. He is one man who has a $137 billion fortune. There are some African countries that don't have that budget. A lot of them. And that's the reality of it, man. The bottom line is this. We are in a situation where black men and black women are not going to unite. Not at this particular time. And so anybody who's fighting for that is fighting for some shit that is not going to happen. That is not the fight we should be investing our energy in right now. If you're fighting for that, you're wasting time. People been fighting for that, man, for 100 years. It ain't got no closer. Matter of fact, it's getting further away. The Most High will not bless anything that we're fighting for that is not intended. And that is one of those things that is not intended. We as black men must align ourselves with the Most High. It is our relationship with the Most High, not theirs. They don't have a relationship with the Most High. They have a relationship with the church. It is our job to have a relationship with the Most High. That's the first thing we must do. That's the only thing we must do. We keep trying to exodus and we keep trying to deliver ourselves and we keep trying to do what we're going to do. Nothing is going to happen until we reunite ourselves with the Most High. And that's the bottom line. So, that's going to do it for this one, man. That's going to do it for this one, man. I got to, you know what I'm saying? I got to get to some clients in the morning, man. So, but I want to touch on this, man. I'm going to try to leave it up. Hopefully, man, nobody won't come here tripping, man, and flag it down or nothing. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it up because I think it needs to be up. I think it's that type of quality where it needs to be up. So I'm going to leave it up. Chuck said we can control us. Let's build us every moment, minute, hour, and day going forward. The first person you must lead yourself. No doubt, bro. Produce the evidence. It's your own life. And the female has no choice but to follow. No doubt. That's it, man. That's it. She is designed to follow us, but only when we are in our highest essence, when we are in the essence of our masculine energy. Like, we keep giving her too much credit for having too much power. She is only doing what is left to her to do. And we cannot continue to speak on her as if she has that type of power, because that empowers her, not in reality, but in our minds. We are viewing things from a falsification of the facts perspective. She does not have that type of power to make those type of decisions, to make those type of moves, to affect those types of things. Right now, she'll follow white women to the end of the earth. And that's the reality of it. Jack Bone, I appreciate that, bro. Montez Dumas, no doubt, bro. I appreciate you being in the joint. Dead Lucky Luda is in the building. What up, Luda? Yeah, that's it, man. They know she's throwing that money right back in, man. They ain't even concerned about it. They know it's going right back in. And that's the reality of it, man. So, hey, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. We're going to go ahead and get ready to bounce on out this thing, man. It's been real in the field. Great joint, man. What I'm probably going to do, man, I'm probably going to take this one down, man, and like go back through my facts, man, and re-record it and put it up as a premiere. Just clean it up a little bit. China White, I appreciate that, shawty. Kazaya and Raw Band, I appreciate that, brother, no doubt. Iceberg, no doubt, bro. I appreciate you being back in the joint with us, man. Catch you in the joint tomorrow, man. We'll be back on in the joint tomorrow, man. Tomorrow's show, man. I think we'll do may do an early show tomorrow, man. I'm trying to figure out a time, man, the best time, man, to get in this joint. King Shooter, all right, bro. Peace out. Chuck, peace, bro. Good to see you back in the joint with us again, man. Sneaker Huncho. I'm gonna say about to go watch King David. Dre Raphael, peace out, homie. I appreciate that, man. John Doe, peace, bro. Appreciate it. So it's been real in the field, man. Yeah, I appreciate all the support, man. The people coming through on Patreon, man. The people buying the merch, man. It's real out here, man. It's been real in the field. Black Malls, no doubt, bro. Peace out, man. Peace out. Appreciate you being in the joint, homie. Jay Stacks, peace out, homie. All right, homies. Avoid the haters, avoid the fakers, avoid the betas. And as always, alphas up, betas down. Homies. Peace.